Collective, I've laid your cards. We have a lot of aces here, so there's a new start, and some twos. We've got an idea of a split path somewhat, like which route are you going to take? How are you going to metabolize the different parts of your life? And it ends with a big sense of the wheel of, well, it ends with the things moving on. But there is a sort of confusing attitude, confusing something in your environment, not attitude, but something in your environment, which I'm yet to work out. But I thought, let's just dive in and do it. And then we can see what comes out when I'm talking, because that usually sorts it out. So, you if that sounds right, stay. You on the inside is the Ace of Cups and the Four of Cups in reverse. But I'm not really reading reversals. I think if it was the Four of Cups in reverse, it would suggest that you decided to take this Ace of Cups. I mean, I think that is what's happening because of all these other aces. Okay, so normally we say about this chap that he doesn't want to take the cup. He's perfectly happy with his 3, thank you very much, and he's not going to take this new offer. But here, because it's in the reverse, I think that there is a sense that you are ready to take this. I mean, it is literally the same image, isn't it? So you've got the Ace of Cups being offered almost in this Four of Cups. You know, this divine opportunity, there's something that new that you love. Because he's in reverse, rather excitingly, I think you've decided to take it. What can I see on these images today? How large the hand is, the lotuses in the water, your intuition, how generous the hand is, the swirls. It's sort of ta-da is what it feels like to me. And now I present you with, it's absolutely lovely, and the fact that you're going to take it is really exciting, and I can see that because all the aces are turning up. So something new that you really love. How this makes you act on the outside, you start thinking a lot about wealth, generational security, your clan, the bigger picture, but also this sort of enormous security. So I think that's potentially what you have in mind with this new start, and how you can shore up your future, those that you love. But it also could be shades of, oh gosh, I'm starting something new, I need to make sure I'm secure, I need to pull on all my resources and make sure that those are in a good place, because something new, some new love has captured me. Now, it could be an actual love, it could be a person. You could actually be falling in love with this and be opening up. I'm not sure that's it. I just think it's a very, very potent new start because, oh, wow. I said we had lots of aces. We have all the aces here. To have all the aces implies that you're a bit like the magician, because the magician has all the aces at his disposal. We haven't got the magician here, but I feel like this is a really potent time for you, and you could be making this kind of generational wealth for yourself. How you're acting on the outside is probably quite sort of high value, because there's a sense of a new idea being opened up to you, a new way of seeing yourself in this context. Is there anything that jumps out? This is really amazing reading. I hadn't appreciated that all of them were here. All these hieroglyphs, all these little drawings always interest me on the back, on that pillar by the, right on the corner and above the old man's head. Like, what is all this writing? We've got pictures of castles and boats, security, sort of the idea of that is what you're projecting out into the world. This is what you're thinking about, being having the means to go on voyages and also being secure. It's really, really lovely. It sort of reminded me of, we had lunch here yesterday, and I met somebody one of the neighbour's friends who was absolutely lovely. And she really struck me as somebody who'd got something very sorted in her life. Yeah, this is what it's reminding me of. Why is it reminding me of that? This. Because I was sat there watching her and listening to her as she told me about her life. And she's a specialised doctor, and she's an anaesthetician. And as a woman, in her mid-50s, she decided that she wanted to only work in a specialised field, and that she was going to sort of make that happen. Anyway, it's too long a story, but she was sat there. She looked so happy with the way that she'd worked her work out. She had good boundaries. She had enough rest. She was highly valued. She'd recalibrated her life in a way that was enormously supportive and uplifting to her. So she was doing exactly what she wanted, but she was obviously also providing a solution to a bit of a tricky problem with local hospitals and how they operated and needing more resources. And she'd unlocked the key. And when I asked her, and she seemed so happy, so sort of very happy with the way, and you often don't see that with women, particularly of a sort of certain age, who haven't managed to get their boundaries. I mean, I suppose at mid-50s you might be getting to the top of your profession, and I do know plenty of women who are very happy with the balance now, but hers seemed really amazing. And she said it was quite scary to start with when she made this choice, but she felt like this to me. I was sort of taking in all the details of her being, because she just felt so happy and settled and excited by her life, but also not depleted by what she put out. And that's what this feels like. That is what's coming to me with this. So that's amazing. But at the basis of the reading, we've got the Chariot, which implies a split laser beam, implies quite fast and furious, and actually, to be honest, a lot of energy coming out, and might feel quite a lot. So maybe as this new start gets going, you do have to sort of split your laser beam. And she did say that. Remember, that was part of the story, that things were quite difficult for her to start with, that she wasn't sure, she wondered whether she'd made a mistake, and then it sort of started to gain traction and it was good. Now, this is a different sort of energy. It's much more fast and furious than waiting for something to gain traction. It's kind of like you're off. So there is a sense in this that it could be about splitting your laser beam in love. I mean, I don't know, sometimes this indicates that you've somebody who's seeing more than one person, and it might be that you've been in a long-term relationship and you're falling for somebody else. There is potentially that with all of this new start. So maybe that is you. Maybe you're thinking about which path you pick. There could be that for someone, and you'll know if that's you. If it's not about that, because that's not the predominant way that I'm seeing it, if it's about creating this secure path, this wonderful new start that really moves your life on, then this Chariot in the base is really talking about how you navigate that and the old reality for a while. Or maybe it is just such an incredible project, it's going to feel quite fast and furious. But listen, he is on his life's mission. He is doing exactly what he wanted, and maybe that's why this woman's coming to me again. She had always wanted to work in this particular specialisation that she was doing with her anesthesia, and she'd made it happen. And so maybe that's what this is about, getting on your absolute epic quest, doing the thing that you're really meant to do. How lovely. Hieroglyphs on his skirt are jumping out at me, and those on his belt. There's 5 different hieroglyphs. I can't see what they say at all, but it's low slung. It's like you've decoded the magic of what it is you need to do. And everyone's looking very pleased. The Hierophants, that's interesting I said Hierophant. The Sphinxes look very, very happy and content. He looks very sure, but they look very, very happy and content to me today. And again, the Chariot gathers everything that you've learnt in the previous positions, from the Fool all the way through to the Lovers, and there's elements of all of those in here, in this card, and the imagery from the throne of the Emperor, from the High Priestess's pillars. It's all there, so there's a sense of having everything you need, like all of these aces, which are reminding me so strongly of the Magician. In the recent past, your flame of sort of passion was lit with this passionate, new, excitable ace. So probably this love has come from something that really ignited you initially. So it was probably like a moment of desire or inflamed sort of creative passion that's come to you. So and it's interesting, all of the hands, oh no, we have 2 hands from that direction, 2 hands from this direction. So the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, they both, those hands both come from the same side. They come from the right. So they're very aligned together. So that's why I suppose the passion comes first and then the heart follows in this case. So that's wonderful. The 3 trees at the bottom are popping out to me. And where this could go, based on 3 aces within this first part of the reading, which we're getting to the last of those 3 in a minute, basically accepting this new epic quest to be on your path, is that you could be in a position where you go, oh yeah, I know exactly what I want now. This is an amazing image of looking out and knowing what you want, knowing which ships you want to come in, being absolutely sure that you're either waiting for that correct path or you're about to make that correct path. And it, you know, maybe I saw the 3 trees because it leads to these 3 wands. It's like you take that passion of the start and then you make some staffs for yourself from those trees, some passionate staffs, and you say, yeah, I know exactly what it is I want now. It's like Moses and the seas parting. There is elements of that. It's sort of, there's a will to get yourself somewhere, and a grace to, if you follow that passion, there's a sort of sense of grace that the sea will part for you. So it's really lovely. Coming up after that, we have another ace, so our 3rd already, and this is in the near future. So, you know, you're flanked. There's 3 aces in a row here. In the middle, what I'm looking at is, this is what the reading looks like. I mean, you talk about all your ducks lined up, 3 aces in a row. So you've got that inner ace of the Ace of Cups, and then these either side. It's really incredible. So coming up in the near future, you're going to get your thoughts are sort of going to get an upgrade. You're going to be incredibly clear. There's going to be an idea that comes from this passion and this love. And knowing where it is that you want to go now, you're going to get very, very clear in your mind. This is a really epic quest collective. I didn't quite realise when I sat down to look at it, but it's really incredible. The wreath of success hangs from the top of that crown above the sword. And, you know, at this point, we're sort of almost there with your magician. You've got everything you need. So long as your will is really, really strong, then that's when you can manifest this incredible new start. In your attitude, though, we have here the 2 of Swords. It's not bad. It comes after the incredible new idea of the Ace of Swords. Your attitude is, I'm trying to use my own intuition. I'm trying to decide on which path. It's almost like you're being asked to choose between your old way and your new way. With that Chariot, there are elements of that as well. This split beam, this split laser beam. So, you know, you might be quite overwhelmed by all this new energy. That would make sense. It's only a stage, because we can see those 2 lines indicating this will give way to a new reality quite soon. And maybe you think there are only 2 routes, but actually there might be a 3rd route. But certainly you're trying to get deeply Your attitude is, I need to know that I'm doing the right thing with all this incredible, fresh, new energy and knowing where I want to go. I need to pick the right thoughts, paths, ways of getting there logically in my brain. So you're minor to the High Priestess, so you probably will get there quicker than you think. And the swords, anyway, are getting quite heavy. You need to put them down soon. You have to make a decision. Now, in your environment, this was interesting. They came in two sort of clumps. This one came on its own, another two. So in your environment, juggling these two realities, trying to stir them in together, or maybe if you are deciding that you might have met somebody new, you might be thinking about starting to leave somebody, and at the moment you're sort of juggling everything in your mind and these two realities. But if it's not just, but if it's about melding these realities and coping with this new beginning, yeah, at the beginning of stuff, after our aces, before we've got the pentacles, the three of the tripod that gives us some security, things do feel a little bit insecure. Two doesn't hold us as securely as a three or a four does. You know, if you think of the legs of a table on a four or a tripod with a three. So there's still a sense of something being new and finding its legs, okay, with that. And then these three came together. So we've got the ace of our final ace, this actual practical new start in your environment. I think this is where it really starts, the magician starts to really bed in. It's saying, at this point, it's starting to become a reality. This is something we plant this is a new idea that we plant, or a new seed we plant in the soil, and we nurture now. We make this happen, and it will grow so long as we look after it. So we've now got everything that the magician needs in order to bring this amazing union. So it really could be about a partnership, but it could also be you partnering with the right path, you know, getting in the right sort of place in life, which would be a cause for great celebration. And right in the middle of those, in your environment, we have this sneaky Seven of Swords. I don't know, this would make sense if you were thinking about leaving somebody. There would be an element of perhaps deceit or disempowerment, or for this other person that would be coming up. There'd be a feeling of betrayal, potentially. But if that's not the case, then I think what it's cautioning is to get everything quite sorted in your head, because this is so important to get to this union. Don't start giving away any of your power now. Think about dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's. The birds are singing now, so I suggest that this is what this is actually about. That feels like an emphasis. Is actually now is the moment to get this all quite secure. Do what it is you need to become really secure in nurturing this Ace of Pentacles. Don't leak any power, because you're headed here to this beautiful union and celebration, because you're on your right path. You're with your right partner, person, inner being. It's almost like you're partnering with your inner magician. I think that's it. You're partnering with your inner magician. This is you sort of having a celebration that you finally know how to make stuff happen. And so what we have to be careful of, what we're being counselled to hear, is just do not give any power away now, because you have so much. Hold on to all of those pentacles. Do not let any of them go. It's so unusually powerful, this new start. You must be clear that you don't leak any of this amazing resources that's coming online for you. God, how lovely. And then in your hopes and fears, you're hoping to get everything aligned, to have the will of knowing exactly what you want, all your goals going in the same direction, and then to get the message out. And maybe you fear that because it's going to be such a potent message with all these aces, but you really, really want that magician's sense of dynamism and being able to focus as above, so below, and focus your will on this new part of your life that's coming online, this new partnership with the Magician, and where it's all leading. We knew you knew where you wanted to go, and now you jump into the Wheel of Fortune and you make a change, and life is going to change now. Something new is coming, and you know, this could be a great new moment in your Wheel of Fortune of really getting things sorted. Again, we've got the Sphinx of these chariots, so we know that you're off on this chariots quest now, and it's looking really directly and very sort of determinedly at us there. This is amazing. This is amazing, collective. Right, let's pull you some extra cards because I've got them here on the bench. So that's anything else we need to know about this reading. Oh, the sun. And now we get into the manifestation phase. This is so beautiful. Now we're in the full moment of, and I think the sun's going to come out for us at that moment. We're in the full moment of being able to manifest with our magician energy. This is really beautiful. It's really beautiful. The sun, probably the most optimistic and upbeat and lovely, delicious treat of a card, coming to you saying, yeah, this is a good moment, collective. And now the Queen of Wands. I love her. She's a bit like the Three of Wands and sorry, the Queen of Swords. I love how she's looking out like the Three of Wands and surveying the scenes. Now she's the one that would not have any kind of leaking of power with that Seven of Swords, or not looking at all the details and the fine print. So she's turning up to remind you that you can use that sort of incisive, queenly energy to, oh, that's so funny. I picked up the pack and I left 3 on the thing, and I just thought, what's left here? The Star, the Chariot, and the Ten of Cups. Oh, I'm getting a shiver. You know, the Chariot again, the Star being aligned to what it is you're supposed to do and all your wishes, your North Star. And the Ten of Cups bringing you great happiness. This is amazing. How lovely. But use your Queen of Wands to just make sure that all the details are taken care of. Use that kind of incredibly honest, straightforward, clever, and no sugarcoating kind of energy to make sure that at this quite a heady, oh, that's all the cards, we can't have that, at such a heady time that you make sure that you're using her kind of intelligence to protect this new pentacle that ultimately you're going to be planting. That was 4 again, that's a bit too many, but let's see what we've got here. King of Cups, Hierophant, the Devil, and the 10 of Coins, 10 of Pentacles again. So that's you growing this wealth all the way from that Ace of Pentacles in your environment up to something that feeds and nurtures whole generations. And the King of Cups looking very sure here, emotionally secure, whereas often he can feel a little bit this way one day and that the next. Here I think what we're saying is you're starting to feel more confident about this new project, very sure. You're bringing in your tradition, your spiritual tradition, your all those things that you know with the Hierophant to sort of shore it up. It feels in line with your kind of true Hierophant, with your true spiritual tradition, whatever it is that you feel very aligned to. And you feel very passionate with this Devil. Of course you feel very passionate. I mean, almost could get quite a lot. So, you know, note of caution, just, you know, don't tip into any obsessive behavior. But I think with the Hierophant next to him, I don't think he can get too out of control, because he's got his sort of, it's a balance between those two. It's a balance between passion and great restraint and kind of wisdom. And the King of Cups, therefore, is feeling quite sure. You know, you're emotionally very sure. Here's your Ace of Cups in your inner being. And you being able to grab it. Yeah, I know I really want this. My heart knows what it wants. And this then leads to your Ten of Cups. Just to remind us again that that's what you're building. You really are building generational wealth with this really positive new start. It's incredible. I'm going to pull 1, Two more cards, decks that I've got here. This is The Shining Tribe by Rachel Pollock, and they're quite dense. Sometimes I don't really understand the meaning of these because she changes them a little bit, but Seven of Rivers. So that is, I think, the Seven of Cups. That's when you... But let's see what her take on it is, because in traditional readings you would say you're not quite sure. There's lots of imagination, but you haven't picked one. So let's see what her version of that is. Seven of Rivers. In the précis it says, fantasies, inspiration, wondrous journeys. Well, that's your chariot that you're with. Wild stories, daydreams, difficulty telling fantasy from reality. It may indicate a state where we find our thoughts so filled with possibilities, we find it hard to choose or make things that we really want to have happen. Except I don't see that for you, but maybe it's a little note of caution. I'm just looking if there's anything else. Fantasy, it sees here, do not only mean grand myths or fairy tales, they can be our personal fantasies. So maybe it's saying this is literally like a dream coming true. Everything from daydreams to success or romance through to scary thoughts that wake us at night. Either way, it's valuable to recognise that these images are not connected to outer reality. If we want them to become real, we must take action. That's your note of caution. I think that's exactly what it is. It's like you have everything you need now. And as I was saying, you just now need to employ that will of getting it out there with the Eight of Wands, of the Magician. You have everything you need. Now make it happen. Don't squander it in that, too many cards, in that Seven of Cups way. Don't just let it stay as a fantasy. Bring some action to it. And what have we got here? Four of Challenges, Seven of Spells, and Child of Spells. Actually, do you know what? Because I'm running out of space on the disc, I just want one card, so I've asked for one card. Keeper of Visions. I think this is another. I think this is another ace. Let's have a look. Who's the Keeper of Visions? I think, well, it is another. Oh no, who are the keepers? Oh no, the keepers are the kings. So we've now got the King of Cups again. So another version of him. Contemplative rather than active, calm, wise, compassionate, not easily flustered, charitable, emotionally stable, faithful in love. The Keeper of Visions is a shape-shifting wizard whose pristine aspect, Piscean aspect embodies ancient salmon wisdom. Legend has it that the salmon is the oldest of all the creatures and has memories reaching back to the beginning of the world. In the fish form, his coolest emotions allow for compassionate detachment. On land, his kind heart can overflow into grief at the world's cruelty. On the whole, he prefers to observe events from a distance rather than getting directly involved. His motto is look below the surface. Seek him out when you need counsel on mystical matters. If this card doesn't represent a particular person, it can mean a time of withdrawal from emotional turmoil and seeking peace. This situation may benefit from meditation. Well, maybe you are feeling more emotional than I saw in that original King of Cups, because this is him again. He feels everything so deeply. So you know, with all of this energy coming online, you will feel a lot, but you've got the resource of your Hierophant and your all of these aces. You'll be fine. And remember, the salmon has the wisdom of the ages. You're wise. You're deeply wise, and your emotions are safe here with this new start. Do not worry. I don't think you're that worried, to be honest, not with all of this going on. And we'll just have one dive into the bag of charms. Oh, we've got loads that came out. So, 4 different charms. What have we got here? The crow, firstly, crow wisdom. It's funny because on my way down there's this crow that lives in a tree just up there, and he really talks when you come down. So talking through the King of Cups to ancient wisdom, the crow, other worlds that you're connected to. Don't forget those. And then the owl, also a bird of wisdom. So great wisdom from the bird kingdom, connecting to other realms. That's what you're being asked to remember. And here we have, what's this? Oh, a witch on her broom. I was thinking it was a little a flower, but it's a witch on her broom. So this is quite a mystical time for you, of course, and then the new moon with its stars on. You are about to jump on your broom and go on your chariot's race to your true mystical, meant to be journey. And I can see from these charms that it's one of great wisdom, and maybe that's why the King of Visions was telling us how wise you are, that this does involve getting online and getting aligned with the spirits, that you understand your great deep wisdom. The owl, obviously so wise. The crow, great at shape-shifting and going into other worlds, quite mischievous sometimes, but a really potent ally. And then the witch on her broom, like you on your chariot broom. Don't squander this time, collective. This is an amazing energy. You are headed to something really, really amazing. Your new moon, your new start. These feel really like the Four Pentacles, the Four Aces, actually, funny enough. What would they be? The owl would be the Ace of Swords. The crow would be... The crow would probably be the Ace of Pentacles. The witch on her broomstick would have to be the Ace of Wands. And yeah, exactly. And the Ace of Pentacles, no, so who did we say? And then we've got the Ace of Swords. So maybe the crow would be the Ace of Swords. Yeah, that would be it, with its sharp tongue. And the Ace of Pentacles would be the new moon. When you plant seeds traditionally, I think they feel like this because they feel, I've never had this before, but they feel like I've got money in my hands and all these amazing new starts are about to be planted. Well done. See, here we go.